Hello, my lovely students. How are you? I hope you will be fine and welcome back to science lesson. Today we will review tides and currents. Before that, let me remind you what we studied in previous lesson. In previous lesson, we studied wave. What is wave? Wave is the up and down movement of the water particles that make it up. So we studied storm surge. What is storm surge? Storm surge, a group of very large waves caused by strong or gusty winds. Let's go to tides. Open, please, with me. Be with me. Open your science book. Tides. Open page 154. Tides. What is tides? Tides is one type of ocean movements. Tides are the daily change in the local water level of the ocean. Tides are the daily change in the local water level of the ocean. Tides are two types, high tide and low tide. High tide and low tide. A high tide, much of the beach is covered by water. High tide means the level of water increase or rises, but at low tide, waves breaks farther away from the shore. Low tide means the level of water in ocean is decreases. Okay. So what causes tides? Tides are caused by gravity. Gravity is force that causes all objects to be pulled toward all other objects. The force of gravity between two objects depends on two things. Number one, the size of the objects and the distance between them. So big objects have a greater pull than small objects. Objects that are closer together have a greater pull on one another than objects farther apart do. Even though the moon is much smaller than the sun, the pull of moon's gravity on the earth is the main cause of ocean tides. What causes tides? Moon's gravity. The pull of the moon's gravity on earth, cause tides. Cause of ocean tides. This is because the moon is much closer. Why the pull of the moon's gravity cause tides, cause ocean tides on earth? Why? Because the moon is much closer to earth than the sun is. Okay. Tides, as we said, are two types, high tides and low tides. Look at this picture, please. And this picture, this is the same harbor. Okay, this photograph shows low tide in a harbor. Look, the level of water fall during the low tide. After 6 hours, the level of water rises. Look, this is the same harbor after 6 hours during high tide. Look, compare the position of the ship with their position in the photograph above. So students, remember that every day 2 high tides and 2 low tides occur in a day. Okay, and in a day and night, about 6 hours separate the high tide from the low tide. So the moon's gravity pulls on everything on earth, including oceans. As the moon pulls on ocean water, the water forms a block that always faces the moon. Another water block forms on the side of earth from the farthest from the moon, where the moon's pull is weakest. As Earth rotates on itself in 20 hours, a region of the Earth will be at one time facing the moon and at another time on the opposite side. High tides occur as a point on earth moves through a block. The water level rises on the shore. Low tide occurs as a point on earth moves between the blocks. The water level on the shore gets lower. Now we have a video. Please look at it and please listen to this video carefully about tides and what causes tides.
What causes tides? Tides are the periodic rise and fall of sea level at a particular place. When the sea level rises to its greatest height, it is known as a high tide. And when the sea level drops to its lowest height, it is known as a low tide. Tides are primarily caused due to the gravitational force of the moon. But how? Part of the Earth facing the moon experiences a stronger gravitational pull towards the moon as compared to the Earth's center. So, the part facing the moon is pulled away from the center, creating a bulge and thus increasing the sea level and causing a high tide. Now, the Earth's center experiences a stronger gravitational force towards the moon than the part facing away from the moon. Hence, this part is pulled away from the center, resulting in high tide on the opposite side as well. In addition to this, the places in between the two high tides, where the sea level drops, experience low tides.
So students, now let's go to currents. What are currents? Currents are one type of ocean movements. Currents are two types, a surface current and deep ocean currents. Let's start with a surface current. Surface current forms when a steady winds or slow winds blow over the surface of the ocean. Surface current form, okay? Surface current forms when steady winds or slow winds blow over the surface of the ocean, okay? But deep ocean currents form because of the density differences in ocean water. Density differences form because of density due to the density differences in ocean water. Look, students, this picture is about surface current. Look, surface current forms when steady winds blow over the surface of the ocean. In the north hemisphere, look, here is a north hemisphere of the earth, okay? Surface currents flow in clockwise direction. Look, clockwise direction. But in the southern hemisphere, surface currents flow a counterclockwise direction. But in north hemisphere, surface currents flow in a clockwise direction. Let's see now, how do deep ocean currents occur? Deep ocean currents form when dense cold water meets less dense water. The denser water flows under the denser water flows under the less dense water, forcing the less dense water to rise. Okay, this is ocean. When cold water, look, when cold water meets meets less dense water, it means hot water. The denser water flows. Look, the denser water flows down. Okay, flows down under the less dense water, forcing the less dense water to rise. Katik ay sar legal ay gerin beryektri da kaun aw sar daka بسيطة خوار طالب أو سر جرمكة ودني لبو سروا ومجولة يبدوز دبي أو جولة بيدلن deep ocean currents. Let us go to, before that, now we have a video about wave and currents.
Oh man, I almost had it that time. Those waves are so powerful. I can barely balance on the board, let alone stand up. Yeah, and they aren't even that big. Imagine what a tsunami is like.
No way, man. Those are scary. Aren't they caused by earthquakes or something?
Yeah, a tsunami is a series of waves caused by an underwater earthquake, landslide, or volcano. Those things can destroy a whole city.
Where do waves get all their power? I mean, I know waves get bigger when it's windy, but there's gotta be more to it than that.
There is. Waves are really just the up and down movement of energy on the water's surface. Wind, volcanoes, earthquakes, landslides, they all cause waves. And depending on how powerful the cause of the wave is, a wave can have as much energy as a tsunami or be as harmless as a ripple.
I don't think it was just an up and down movement that made it hard for me to stand up in the waves. There was definitely a push. Wasn't that the waves too?
Nope. The push is the current. A current is the constant movement of water in a river or ocean.
So the waves and currents work together. No wonder I couldn't stand. It was 2 against 1.
Yeah, currents are pretty powerful too. And unlike waves that just go up and down, a current moves in giant circles.
Currents sound kind of tricky.
Well, they can be. There are actually 2 different types of currents: surface currents and deep water currents. What you felt was a surface current. Surface currents move along the edges of continents.
Where'd that surface current get such a powerful push?
Surface currents are pushed along by the wind and the Coriolis effect.
And you lost me. Choreo what?
The Coriolis effect. It's the effect of the Earth's rotation that causes wind to move in a curved path, east to west instead of north and south. Because the wind's direction is controlled by the Coriolis effect, the direction of the currents is too.
Okay, that makes complete sense. Anything else I should know about surface currents?
One more thing. Surface currents affect weather and climate. As they move along the edge of the continents, they bring hot or cold water along with them. Winds blow the warm or cold temperatures carried by the currents over the land and cause changes in the weather and climate along the coast.
What about deep water currents? The wind can't do much for them if they're deep underwater.
You're right. Unlike surface currents, deep water currents are moved by temperature and saltiness, not wind.
Yeesh. Between the waves and the currents, there sure is a lot of commotion in the ocean.
Think you soaked everything up?
Like a sponge, Sam. A wave is the up and down movement of energy on the surface of water. Waves like tsunamis carry a ton of energy and can cause some major damage. A current is moving water that travels in a certain...
Let us go to page 157, summary and review. Summary: ocean waves form as wind blows over the water's surface. Strong gusty winds over a large area can cause a large wave, called a storm surge. Tides are the rise and fall of ocean water caused by the pull of gravity between Earth, the Moon, and the Sun. Surface currents are caused by blowing of steady winds, but deep ocean currents are caused by differences in saltness, or it means density, differences of density. Okay, density differences in ocean cause deep ocean currents or water temperature. The review. Number 1. How does an object floating in water move as a wave passes it? This object may be up and down movement of this object occur or happen. What causes tides? Moon's gravity. The pull of Moon's gravity causes tides. Why does number 3? Why does the Moon have a greater effect on tides than the Sun? Because Moon is much closer to Earth than the Sun. 5. It is test preparation, which is caused by density differences. A. Surface currents. B. Ocean waves. C. Deep ocean currents. And D. Tides. Which one caused by density differences? The true answer is deep ocean currents. Okay, deep ocean currents is the true answer. Please students, restudy at home. You have to memorize tides and types of tides. Please, my students, my lovely students, all of you, you have to restudy at home. You have to prepare yourself for final examination. After it, you have to memorize tides. Tides are the daily change in the local water level of the ocean, and so you have to memorize also types of tides. Tides are two types: high tide and low tide. Also, you have to memorize currents. Currents are two types. I said that currents are two types: surface current and deep ocean currents. Surface current form when steady winds blow over the surface of the ocean. Please memorize surface current and restudy at home, please. Deep ocean currents form because of density differences in ocean water. Please, all of you, memorize deep ocean currents, surface currents, tides, and types of tides. Goodbye and see you